Not jerking off is a skill, and the more you resist your urges to not jerk off, the easier it gets to resist your urges to not jerk off. What's going on, y'all? This is probably the most important YouTube video you will ever hear me talk about, or anyone talk about on the nofap, no nut, no November challenge shit. I'm gonna give you all the fucking sauce. I'm actually so serious about this. I went ahead and did a 6-slide, 5-slide presentation so that you could keep up with this value. I'm gonna talk about shit that has never been spoken to you before. The legitimate tips and tricks that you could use when urges kick in. This shit actually works. Tried it myself. The reality of the situation that has never been talked about, and what happens when you fail No Nut November, and what happens when you last all of No Nut November. The no nut streak doesn't matter. The problem with No Nut November is that dudes will try and resist their urges. They'll last like 3, 4, 5 days, and then they'll relapse, and they'll be like, fuck, dude, I already lost my streak. I'm back at 0. You're not back at 0, bro. You've been jacking off twice a day for like, what, 2 years? And you've all of a sudden you haven't jacked off for 3 days, bro. That's progress. You're not back at 0, bro. Breaking the streak doesn't mean you've lost all your progress, because the progress was made in those 3 days where you haven't jacked off. You don't lose the progress when you break the nut streak, because breaking the nut streak, nothing happens when you break the nut streak. The problem with these no nut streaks, no nut November, don't bust for 30 days, is that you've been building the habit of jacking off almost every day for 2, 5, 10 years. You've been watching porn, busting a nut quite often. It's a habit of yours. You can't just convince yourself, all right, I'm going to stop, and then stop, because you've tried that before. It hasn't worked. You've already relapsed. But what people don't understand is that when they go through those like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days without jacking off, that is infinitely better than if you were to jack off every day. If you jack off every day and you go from jacking off every day, you do that for a whole month, that's 30 times a month, 31 times a month. But if you cut out Tuesdays, I'm not going to jack off on Tuesdays. Guess what? You've gone from jacking it 30 times a month to jacking it 26 times a month. That is progress. Any little movement is progress, bro. You see all these fucking YouTube videos, the 19-day streak, day 7 you get fucking magical powers, day 19 your dick grows a couple inches. There is no like after 30 days you get this fucking ability, you can unlock this type of shit if you last 19 days without nutting. No, bro, all that timeline shit, it's fucking bullshit. Okay, nothing is gonna happen if you break your streak. Stop thinking about the 1 month streak. Stop thinking about going 30 days without nutting, and focus on how many times you've actually jacked off in that 1 month. What happens when you fail? Nothing. If you go throughout No Nut November for 29 days straight, and on the last day, November 30th, you nut, guess what? Bro, the cum demons from hell aren't going to rise up and fucking hang you from a tree, okay? Nothing is going to happen. If you fail on the 5th day, nothing is going to happen. If you fail on the 1st day, nothing is going to happen, because you've been jacking it for 2, 5, 10 years every day. If you go another day, but it's during November and you do it, nothing's going to happen, bro. Nothing's going to happen to your body, to your mental health. Nothing's going to happen with your relationship with your family, your friends. Nothing's going to happen because you've been doing this every day. What happened? Why is November so special? Boss, if you even went 1 day without nutting during No Nut November, that is infinitely better than nutting every day. Right, but what happens when you passed all No Nut November, 30 days, not a single relapse? Well, bro, you've just done the hardest part of a nofap journey, of not jerking off again, of staying off porn, of semen retention, all that shit, bro. You've done the hardest part, because the hardest part is breaking the cycle. And once you break the cycle, it gets easier and easier to break the cycle. People don't understand that. It's a skill. Not jerking off is a skill, and the more you resist your urges to not jerk off, the easier it gets to resist your urges to not jerk off. The more consistent you are, the easier it gets, bro. Once you've implemented those 30 days no nutting, you got to keep it going. If you've gone through all 30 days of No Nut November without a single relapse, and you jerk off on December 1st, What the fuck's the point? And you've just proved to yourself that you can control yourself for 30 days. Bro, if you did it for 30 days, what's the 31st day? The 32nd day, the 33rd day, bro. You've done the hardest part, and that's getting the snowball rolling. And you know, when you're rolling the snowball, it's fucking hard to get it started. But once you got it started, it's going on itself, bro. Keep it going. Don't stop for the fucking challenge, dude. This is in your life. This is what you do. You've already done the hardest part, so why would you relapse and make it harder on yourself, bruv? So legitimate tips and tricks, this shit actually works. Number one is feed the urge with something other than a nut. Your mind doesn't want to nut. It wants a dopamine boost. And the quickest way to give your brain a dopamine boost is to eat candy, is to eat something shitty. Doing something that'll give you a quick boost of happiness, a quick boost of relief, enjoyment, shit like that. Go out, get a burger, get some ice cream. I'm not saying go and eat something shitty every time you feel like you're about to nut. I'm talking on the special occasions where you're just convinced, you're literally already in the actions of getting, whatever you need to get. The other thing is, once you're bored and have free time, it's over. Half of the time, more than half of the time you're jacking off, it's not because you're horny, bro. It's because you're bored, you have the time to do it, and you want that dopamine boost. But once you are bored, and once you fit all those circumstances, bored, free time, needing the urge, having the urge, you are like 99% going to fall for that shit. That's why you jerk off. That's literally more than half of the time the reason why you jerk off. And if that's the source, if that's the reason why you jack off, you just can't be bored. You can't have free time. You have to combat that by staying so busy that you simply just do it less. You think of it less, you do it less. The last tip and trick is don't edge. One of my friends told me earlier today that he was edging because he didn't want to nut for November and he accidentally busted. And don't edge is just because what's the point of the fucking challenge if you're going to edge? Like, the whole point of November is to not masturbate. And if you're going to masturbate, you failed the challenge. I mean,